Welcome, this is Summaries from the franchise, and we are here to review and talk about what happened on Saturday, October 5th in Atlanta. Bad blood. We got some matches to cover, some good, some bad, and in my opinion, some downright ugly. Let's talk bad blood. Looking to my right here, we got Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk kicking off the show in that Hell in a Cell match. It got bloody. It was reported after that Drew McIntyre needed 16 stitches, I believe, to the head. CM Punk and Drew McIntyre pulling off amazing spots through the chair, beads in the mouth, pause. And so many other spectacular moments happened throughout this match. However, we're going to talk about, because we already know it's the highest cage match rated match, I think, in the last 8 to 7 years, 7 to 8 years. However, on top of that, the result of this match is what matters the most. So let's talk about that result with CM Punk getting the win. How do I feel about it? What do I think about Punk winning? Because we all know that match was spectacular in an amazing way, in some good ways, in some bad ways, to start off the show. And honestly, in my opinion, CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre was exactly what it needed to be in terms of how the match played out. But where do we go from here with Drew McIntyre's story? Because now we have Drew McIntyre, who is a guy who has been saying for months now, since his return from that Survivor Series last year, CM Punk is a cancer. And the cancer, quote unquote, has beaten the cure, has beaten the, what you could call, antidote. So now, where do we take on Drew from here? Do we have him have his next feud against Gunther? I mean, I would think that would be CM Punk, because CM Punk said after Drew McIntyre it's time for gold. Do we have him rebuild himself by building up to beat people like Damian Priest or Finn Balor? Do we have him fight John Cena next year at his return for his retirement? Does Drew McIntyre take a break for that long from TV now that we have Seth Rollins back? I have no idea. I do think that Drew McIntyre should have won the match, because there is so much more to do with a heel CM Punk than a heel Drew McIntyre. Not saying that Drew McIntyre's heel run has been bad at all by any means. But I think CM Punk as a heel is much more dynamic than he is as a face right now. But with that being said, I do think that it was a top 2 match of the night. And now many people are saying it's by far the match of the night. I don't know. Because the match we're going to talk about later tonight, in my opinion, has contention for that too. And other people are obviously calling that the match of the night as well. However, I've seen a lot more people say that Drew versus CM Punk, and perhaps it's because the story, even in the midst of his donuts for the last month, has been almost superb. Almost as a stretch. It's been superb. So, what do we do with Drew McIntyre now? I have no idea. I have my thoughts. But before we move on, I do think that CM Punk winning is not a horrible decision. I think what separates this from the middle of this match card, which we're going to talk about in a minute, I think what separates this from the pack is that even with CM Punk's win, there is still so much to do with CM Punk. You don't just lose out on Drew. I'm just worried about what Drew McIntyre's direction is going to be after this. You still have so much to do with a face CM Punk that this does not ruin either one of them. Because you still have a lot to do with a heel Drew McIntyre. I just think that CM Punk is much more dynamic as a heel. Moving on, let's talk about Finn Balor versus Damian Priest. This was, I believe, the next match of the night. And for the next 2 matches after this, you're going to see a little bit of that same reaction from me. Because I was not a big fan of this match. I think it was, in ring, it was pretty decent at best. But the Judgment Day's involvement, Finn Balor, again, Damian Priest is 1v4ing the Judgment Day. Well, 1v3ing, I think, because I think only Carlito and JD McDonough came out. Dom was saved for the match that we'll talk about later on. But it's not the best in-ring match that these two are able to put on. And then you have the Judgment Day come out and look like the Judgment Jobbers. That's what they look like. Because there is absolutely no reason why Damian Priest is 1v3ing an entire faction that's led by a former WWE Universal Champion. The first Universal Champion. And even they didn't even talk about it, how Finn Balor's not in the same mental space that he was. And that should make Finn Balor, we should be getting a different aggressive side to Finn Balor. Instead, we're seeing a semi-angry Damian Priest beat up the Judgment Jobbers. That's what we're seeing. And I think it's ridiculous. I don't hate the match because the match was great, but I don't think Damian Priest should have won. I don't think that Finn Balor should have looked as weak. I just think it's a complete ludicrous on how Damian Priest won that match. Overall, I just feel like the match should have had a different winner, and the match should have, on top of having a different winner, had a different outcome in terms of how it played into the ending. No Judgment Day involvement. This should have been strictly Finn Balor versus Damian Priest, not Finn Balor and the Judgment Jobbers getting 1v3'd by Damian Priest, because it makes Finn Balor look even more weak. Having his people come out and then they still lose, that's ridiculous. Come on now. And then moving on, we have Nia Jax versus Bayley for the WWE Women's Championship, the SmackDown version. I'm okay with this match. This match was really sluggish. It was filled with botches. However, it was like at times so botched up that it was kind of funny and still entertaining. The match wasn't horrible. I don't think they've ever put on a horrible match, but it wasn't the best. And what really saved this match was the finish, because Tiffany Stratton coming out there in the fashion that she did, the way she came out there to distract, it made us think that for a second she was thinking, I think that she really was thinking about cashing in. But instead, she changed up her mind last second. And then what happens? The referee sees the briefcase and thinks that it's a cash in, grabs the briefcase, looks at her, are you sure? She says no. Nia Jax gets up. The ending of this match, it's the complete opposite of how Finn Balor and Damian Priest match was. Because Finn Balor and Damian Priest, just like Bayley and Nia Jax, put on a decent match. But for Finn Balor and Priest, the ending of the match kind of messed up the kind of okayness that it had, versus the ending of this match kind of saved how mid the match quality was, because it makes us go into a different story. This whole Bad Blood pay-per-view, or PLE now it's being called, it's being able to push narratives and push storylines further than they would have gone before. And I like it. I like how Tiffany Stratton came out there when she did what she did and Nia Jax saw it. Tiffany Stratton's face turn is only a matter of time, and she's going to be the biggest woman's face on SmackDown. I honestly can't wait to see her go against whoever heel turns heel between Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. I can't wait to see what happens. I think this is going to be amazing. It's going to be pretty good feuds that come from this. My concern, just like how I have concern about Finn Balor, I'm concerned about the loser of this match in terms of Bayley. What do we do for Bayley? There has to be something between Bayley, Naomi, Jade Cargill, and those four people. Naomi, Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, and Bayley. They have to be able to create some type of narrative. And this would have been so good if there was a little segment how we're going to get to when we talk about the main event of this match. If Bianca Belair or Jade Cargill was able to turn on Bayley somehow, really Bianca Belair, because she's the one who's been showing the most disdain for Bayley, just attack Bayley backstage or something. I don't know. One of them, either Jade Cargill or Bianca, has to turn heel. And I think Bayley might be the catalyst, even though I don't see it, because Bianca's been a face for so long. She's like the John Cena of the women's division, not being portrayed as that. But in terms of strength and moveset and intangibles, yes, I can really see Bayley being the catalyst for Bianca Belair turning heel. So, again, a very mediocre match. Yeah, I'd argue, you can argue it even be low mediocre, being saved by its ending. I'm okay with the result of this match. The Finn Balor Damian Priest match, it gets an X for me, but this gets a pass. Obviously, we talk about how great the Hell in a Cell match Drew McIntyre and CM Punk had. Let's talk about Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley. So we have Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley, and this was Dominic in a shark cage match or whatnot, whatever it was called, for the Women's Championship. This debatably, surprising, not really unsurprising if you watch any of this match, but in terms of how big their names are, in terms of being known by wrestling fans, this was the worst match on the card. I can't even call this match mediocre because it had a few mediocre spots as its highlights. The highlights were Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley's somewhat mediocre spots and very bad in-ring storytelling by Rhea Ripley. The referees being blatantly corny and talking and acting how we think they act, like how we used to joke before these refs had these cams and microphones, how we used to joke, man, the refs probably think this, they probably think that, and laugh it off. This is exactly what they're showing, and I don't like that. I want these refs to be serious and legitimately mad when they make mistakes or take these matches seriously, but instead they're picking sides, they're picking favorites, and nothing's going to be done about it. I don't like that. Even if this is all kayfabe, which of course it is, I don't like this narrative being pushed that referees don't take their job seriously. Because that's been a gripe with the wrestling fans because we get stupid results like the one tonight. So fast forward because this match, in all the grand scheme of things, kind of matters, but it doesn't matter. Rhea Ripley gets distracted by beating up Dominic Mysterio. And then she goes back into the ring. Liv Morgan's knocked out. And then Raquel Rodriguez, for some reason, comes out and disqualifies. It didn't look intentional, like the ref wasn't supposed to see it, but the ref blatantly saw it because she was so slow to be able to get what she had to do to get done in terms of interrupting the match and costing Rhea Ripley the win. The ref saw it and had no choice but to ring the bell because it would look like a botch either way. So now Raquel Rodriguez puts Liv Morgan over Rhea Ripley for a pin, but the match is over, so it doesn't really matter that she's putting her over for the win, so it doesn't make sense. And then Raquel Rodriguez picks Liv Morgan up, struggles to pick Liv Morgan up, even though she's supposed to be posed as a bigger threat than Rhea Ripley, supposedly. And nobody cared. The crowd went mild because nobody cares about Raquel Rodriguez. I'm not saying that she doesn't help this. The only reason Raquel Rodriguez helps this story is because, and you could have inserted, quite literally, anybody who isn't involved in, who isn't the four ladies I named before, Naomi, Bayley, Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair. If it's not any four of them and you insert quite literally anybody else in Raquel Rodriguez's spot, the same thing happens, but probably just a little bit smoother because they're probably a better wrestler than Raquel Rodriguez. So this does absolutely nothing but carry this narrative further in terms of the story, because now Liv Morgan gets to hide behind Raquel Rodriguez instead of running away all the time. But does it make the story that much greater? No. It just freshens it up. It freshens up an already drawn out, drained story with a jobber. So if they can find some way to push Raquel Rodriguez into this hierarchy, then I guess. But if she's going to be portrayed even remotely of how she's been being betrayed before, she's not a megastar or a superstar. So at the end of the day, does it really matter? And finally, ending off the night, in my opinion, the best match, but I don't care if you have Punk and Drew over it. They're both great. The show started off perfect. The show ended off perfect. I would just wish the stuff in the middle was a lot better. Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, the head of the table, going against the new tribal chief, Solo Sikoa, and Jacob Fatu, the enforcer. Again, the Universal WWE, I believe it's still called the Universal Champion, the WWE Champion. Either way, no matter what it's called, Cody Rhodes teaming up with his former enemy Roman Reigns, or I don't know if they're enemies or not, after this, going against the Bloodline. So this match was great inside the ring. This match was, I'm surprised people aren't talking about how good this match was. Roman, I forgot what the move was called. Dang, I forgot what the move was called. But he hit some great spot on, I believe it was Solo Sikoa. And Cody Rhodes really put his body on the line. Frog Splash and Jacob Fatu outside the table. But in terms of from start to finish of this match, amazing. Choreography, great. This match was amazing. This felt like literally a mini Roman Rock versus Cody Seth match. That was the vibe I was getting from this match from the jump. It literally felt like a mini version of that. I mean, you can say that Cody's band entrance was messed up. It doesn't matter, bro. I think it's a university, a college band, or a high school band. It doesn't really matter. The match quality was good. Roman Reigns amazing entrance as well. He had people playing his song. Jacob 5-2 didn't get much in-ring action, but what he did, it was electrifying. Solo Sikoa being dominant. Oh my gosh, I forgot who got pinned. I'm pretty sure Solo Sikoa got pinned. But let's talk about like the last 5 minutes of this match. Apparently the last 5 minutes of any Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes match is the most important. So Cody Rhodes sacrifices his body, taking out the enforcer. Jacob 5-2, Roman Reigns goes for a Superman punch to hit the Tonga brothers, I believe. And then he counters it, gets hit with a spear, gets kicks out. And then with the Tonga brothers, Tonga, standing outside the ring. Guess who shows up, takes off the black hoodie, comes from under the ring? It's Jimmy Uso. Super kick to Tonga. Super kick to Tonga Loa. And then Roman Reigns capitalizes, beats, and pins Solo Sikoa. And then we see the combination, the duo of Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns stand tall alongside Jimmy Uso. Jimmy Uso comes in, gives Roman a big hug, and Jimmy Uso and Roman leave the ring, but the bloodline is not done with Cody Rhodes. They drag him back inside the ring, give him a beatdown of a lifetime. And Jimmy says, hey, look, you the quarterback. I'm following you. But if it was me, I just personally would help him. And Roman looks at Cody, looks at Jimmy, looks at Cody, looks at Jimmy, taps him on the shoulder to go in. They save Cody Rhodes. And for the first time ever, Roman stands up for Cody Rhodes. But at what cost? Because he has to pick up the title Cody dropped while getting jumped and give it right back to Cody after they run the bloodline into the bleachers. And as Cody lifts up the title in front of Roman, if you smell what The Rock is cooking, The Rock's music hits. He comes out, points in the ring. We don't know if he was pointing at Roman or Cody. There's a throat slit and walks right out. And then cuts an IG Live promo saying that for the past 6 months since WrestleMania, it's been filled with a bunch of BS. You know what that stands for. So, we have so many questions. Because what does this mean? What's going to happen? Who is The Rock going to challenge? Is he going to challenge Cody Rhodes because he has the WWE Championship and he already told Cody Rhodes that if you have the championship or not, I'm coming after you when I come back? Or is he going to challenge Roman Reigns because Roman Reigns is helping the guy who took out Solo Sikoa, who helped him take out Jacob 5-2, and who took Roman Reigns off the map as the WWE Champion and took the main event at WrestleMania 40, Rock versus Roman, away from him by winning the Royal Rumble, again, the internet on his side. Who does The Rock pick to fight? I think both. Because both of them, both matches, The Rock and Roman Reigns, The Rock and Cody Rhodes, are two marquee matches. And don't forget, this is not over between Roman and Cody. We will still get the trilogy match of Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes in the near future. I don't know when. Questions yet to be answered. And if you want those questions answered, you find it out here on the franchise NET Network. That's what it stands for. That was Bad Blood. Lots of questions I don't got answers to. I'm asking the same questions as y'all. Before we leave, let's talk about Kevin Owens attacking Cody Rhodes backstage. This was unaired. This was not put on television at all. Fans had to catch this outside. They had to catch this beat down outside. Again, for the first time ever during this title run, Cody Rhodes has created an original villain that didn't come off some corny, weird, forced way like ajstyles. This is Cody Rhodes' creation. Cody Rhodes betraying Kevin Owens, not intentionally, but this is a man, Roman Reigns, who had let his bloodline to take years off of his friend Randy Orton's career, who has let him take off months, I believe weeks, from Kevin Owens' career even earlier this year. So you're allowing yourself to help this man beat and take care of his family business, while also simultaneously, even if he didn't say explicitly, you're offering him a title shot Even though this man led the group to take care of your best friend, quote unquote, your mentor, the dude you look up to in Randy Orton, took years off his career, took weeks and months off Kevin Owens' career and kept him away from that title, put mental beatdowns and mentally abused Kevin Owens in different ways and fashions while you were over there in AEW and you got the audacity to team with him. Kevin Owens was not going. And he let Cody Rhodes know that by the beatdown he gave him outside his own bus. So what happens on Friday Night SmackDown? I'll be there with y'all. Until next time.